This video shows you how to work with blocks on the main screen of your Moodle course. Blocks are these little pieces of functionality on the right and the left of your main content area. Each one has a specific use and purpose. So let's look at how you might work with blocks. The first thing I need to do to work with blocks is turn editing on. Once I've done that, you'll see I've gotten some additional icons for each one of my blocks. Let's start with the Move tool. Notice that when I mouse over the Move icon, my cursor changes. This indicates to me that I can move this block. So I'm going to slide it over to the right. And I'll do the same thing with administration because my personal preference is to have all of my blocks to the right. You will want to decide what works for you, but let me show you why moving them to the right is my own preference. When I turn editing off, you'll notice that this middle content area grows to the left. Now I could have moved all my blocks to the left, in which case this middle content area would have grown to the right. But the reason I prefer for it to grow to the left is that people typically read from left to right. So by moving my blocks to the right, my content is what's going to be front and center when people begin to read from the left side. Now, in addition to moving your blocks around, you're going to want to decide which blocks to include on your page. Let's say that I don't like the blocks quiz results, online users, and latest news. To get rid of them, I can go to the gear icon and choose delete quiz results block. I'll go ahead and say yes, and I'll continue to do that for the other two. If I want to add a block, you'll see a drop down for that on the left under add a block. When I open the drop down, these are all the possible blocks that I could add to my course. You may want to play around with these, and some require some more advanced settings than others. The two that I recommend are calendar and courses. Calendar will give your students a view into assignments and other things that have been added to the Moodle calendar, either by themselves or by you, where you've assigned them to a group or to your course, or things that the Moodle administrator has added to the Moodle calendar. The My Courses block will list all the courses in which the student is enrolled. So if my language arts, math, and science teachers all have a Moodle course, then this would show me my math, science, and language arts courses here, and I can use these links to quickly click between them. I find that the other blocks often just add distraction, but you may find that to be different for you in your own preferences, the population you serve, and the content you teach. Now, because I like my blocks all on the right, I'm going to go ahead and move these over to the right. Now let's look at some of the other icons that are here. You see there is this gear, and I get some options here. I would tell you that unless you're an advanced user, you can ignore this and that. But you may choose to hide a block. Now we've talked about deleting. When you delete, it goes away altogether. If I hide it, it now just becomes invisible to users. So I still see it grayed out there because it's not gone, it's just hidden. But if I turn editing off, you'll see that it goes away entirely. But I can turn editing on, which will allow me to see it grayed out, go back to my settings gear, and go to show calendar block. Now it will be visible again. So you might use the hide setting with a block that you frequently show to students and take away, and show and take away. So let's look at these last two icons. These controls are available to every user and allows them to customize their own view of the page. So if you work with either of these icons, it's only going to apply when you log in and view your course. Your students can use these tools to arrange the page in the way that they want it. The first one here says hide calendar block, but really it means collapse. It doesn't hide it in the way that this hides a block. It merely collapses the block so that the content in the block is no longer visible. And I can expand that block again simply by clicking that icon again. This icon will actually dock the block on the left-hand side. It's not available in all themes, but if you choose a theme that allows blocking, you will get these icons. And when I click it, that calendar block moves from here to here. So it is a way to reduce the distractions that blocks create. If I dock all of the blocks, you'll notice that my content area grew to the right because there are no blocks there anymore. And as soon as I turn editing off, there are no blocks on the left, so we'll grow to the whole page, and all of the blocks are docked. If I mouse over or if I click, each block will open and I have access to the functionality there. If I want to undock a block, I simply click the undock icon and all of the docked icons move back to their original position. And that is how you work with blocks in your Moodle course.